Imagine two rooms. One, a grim, overcrowded cell, where days are a cycle of monotony and fear. The other offers privacy, learning, and a path to a new life. Both are called prisons, yet they're worlds apart. Why such a stark difference? Why does one nation invest in human potential behind bars, while another focuses on harsh confinement? This isn't just academic. It's about our values, our justice, and the future we're building. Over 11 million people are incarcerated worldwide. But how and why varies dramatically. At the core are two competing philosophies: punishment versus rehabilitation. Punishment focuses on retribution for past crimes, making individuals pay, deterring others, and incapacitation. Rehabilitation, while acknowledging consequences, sees prison as a chance to address root causes of crime, equipping individuals to rejoin society. This divide leads to very different realities. For example, the Americas have about 212 people in prison per 100,000. While Europe averages around 104, these stats reflect deeper beliefs about justice and human nature. When punishment is paramount, prisons reflect it. The United States, with over 1.8 million incarcerated, the world's largest prison population, leans heavily on punishment and deterrence. Access to education and job training is often limited, leading to high reoffending rates and a cycle that hits minority communities the hardest. Critics say this system can make things worse instead of better. This punitive model isn't exclusive to the U.S. Parts of Latin America, like El Salvador and Brazil, also emphasize retribution, driven by high crime and gang violence. Now, let's explore the rehabilitation model, exemplified by Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Their core idea? Prisoners remain part of society, and incarceration should prepare them for a crime-free life upon release. This leads to vastly different conditions. The normality principle guides prison design to resemble normal life. Cells may include TVs and private amenities. Prisoners often retain civil rights, including voting and access comprehensive education, job training, and therapy.
Ow.
Norway's average prison stay is just over 6 months, with open prisons for less serious offenses. Guards, practicing dynamic security, act more like social workers, fostering trust. Released individuals receive strong support for housing, employment, and health care. The belief is that humane treatment and investment in potential is morally right and smarter for long-term public safety. However, even these systems face challenges. Norway, for instance, is experiencing resource and staffing strains, a reminder that even good models require sustained effort. Why these profound differences in approaching justice? It's a complex mix of history, culture, economics, and politics. Historically, modern prisons evolved from older, harsher punishments. The idea of prison as the primary punishment is relatively new. Some societies retain legacies of eye for an eye justice, while others, after reforms, shifted towards rehabilitation. Cultural values are crucial. Beliefs about human nature, whether people can change, steer the focus towards punishment or redemption. Individualism versus collectivism also plays a role. Societies valuing social unity, like Scandinavia, may invest more in reintegration, seeing it as a collective benefit. Definitions of justice itself vary. Is it retribution or restoration? Economics is a major factor. Punitive systems with long sentences are incredibly expensive. The U.S. spends billions annually on corrections. The Federal Bureau of Prisons budget is $8.3 billion, despite a drop in federal prisoner numbers. Rehabilitative systems, while requiring upfront investment, can save money long-term by reducing reoffending, fewer crimes, more productive citizens. But securing political will for these investments can be challenging when tough on crime is popular. Political choices and public opinion are key. Fear of crime, amplified by media and politicians, can fuel demands for harsh penalties, even if ineffective long-term. Tough on crime is often a politically expedient stance. Conversely, strong societal consensus on rehabilitation supports corresponding political decisions. Public trust in government also influences openness to progressive approaches. Global prison overcrowding, a crisis in many nations, and a concern even in some Western European countries, according to the Council of Europe. often undermines any rehabilitative efforts by creating inhumane conditions. The human impact of any prison system is profound, affecting the over 11 million incarcerated globally, some estimates say 11.5 million, in society at large. Critically, nearly one-third, 3.5 million, are in pretrial detention, unconvicted. Mental health deteriorates in harsh conditions. Imprisonment trauma creates lasting scars, hindering reintegration. Lack of education or job training often leaves individuals less equipped for life post-release, fueling cycles of poverty and crime. Prison suicide rates are reportedly almost 300% higher than in the general population. And violence, particularly intentional killings in the Americas, is rampant. Conversely, systems investing in dignity and rehabilitation see positive impacts. Respectful treatment and growth opportunities increase chances of successful societal reentry. This benefits individuals and makes communities safer by reducing future crime. Overcrowding remains a global crisis, particularly in developing nations, breeding disease and despair and undermining humane treatment. Vulnerable groups like women and children face unique challenges, prompting calls for gender-responsive, community-based alternatives. Encouragingly, reform trends are emerging, including technology for education and rehabilitation, and a growing recognition of the vital role of former prisoners in shaping effective reforms for safer communities. These stark differences raise critical questions. What should be a prison's main purpose? Punishment, rehabilitation, or both? Share your thoughts in the comments. Discussing this is vital for understanding and potentially reshaping justice globally. Society's treatment of prisoners mirrors its deepest values. The global landscape, from El Salvador's punitive prisons to Scandinavia's rehabilitative facilities, reveals a profound split in defining justice and human potential. Punitive systems may satisfy retribution but often yield high reoffending and immense suffering. Rehabilitative approaches, focusing on humane treatment and reintegration, consistently result in lower reoffending and safer societies. No system is flawless. Even progressive models face challenges like funding and political pressure, while global overcrowding hinders humane efforts. Exploring this takes us to the heart of a just society.